Okay, so today we'll be opening up and comparing these two RYCO premium oil filters. This made in Australia RYCO oil filter, number Z154, that was made in 1996, and this made in China RYCO oil filter, number Z154, which is what you'll get now. And I got these two oil filters from a very generous viewer who goes by Tassie Lorenzo, who lives all the way over in Australia. Yep, Adelaide, Australia. Thanks, Tassie. These oil filters fit the 1987 to 1989 Holden Astra. Yep, the one with a 1.8 liter GM Family 2 engine. These filters also fit some other vehicles listed on the screen. And these two filters are going to duke it out. Could get ugly, folks. And when the dust clears, we'll see who the winner is. So let's get started. You gotta glue the silicone, get nice and tight, get your end here, filtration. Okay, let's start with the made in Australia RYCO oil filter. It says with anti-drain back valve. And there really isn't too much on this box except for right back here. This is why I say its filter was probably made in 1996, because it's the last year that they list, you know, for the years on here for all these vehicles. And that's about it for this box. Well, let's open this box up, see what this filter looks like. Okay, I couldn't find a date code up here, but right here it says Australian made, little kangaroo, and instructions. And right here's some numbers, so this might be a date code 26-115-0920. Okay. And this filter has 6 inlet holes, metal core with holes, and I don't think there's a bypass valve on this filter. 4 grooves there for threads. Nitro rubber gasket sticks out pretty good right there. Okay, let's look at the made in China RYCO oil filter. The same thing, it says with anti-drain back valve. Okay, right here it says made in China to RYCO specifications TS14. And they got a website right here. And really no more important information on this box. Alright, so let's open this box up, see what that looks like. The date code 20230707. And get the filter number, instructions. Okay. It doesn't say anywhere on here made in China, but obviously the box does. And it's got this plastic covering over it. And this filter has 8 inlet holes. Looks to be a silicone drain back valve, where the other one looked like it was nitro rubber. Metal core with holes. Also, it doesn't look like it has a bypass valve. 4 grooves there for threads. And nitro rubber gasket, which sticks out pretty good. Yeah, probably a little more than the RYCO, the made in Australia filter. Okay, let's get their weights. So the made in Australia filter, 284.6 grams. Made in China filter, 299.4 grams. Okay. Yeah, base plate's a little different. Well, let's take these two filters, open them up, and see what they look like inside. Be right back. Okay, so I opened up these filters, and all I can say is the RYCO oil filter that was made in Australia, they had some quality control issues, because look at what I found inside there. All this stuff was at the bottom. These, when I'm opening them up, this is facing downwards, and this was on the bottom. And I'm going to check it with a magnet to see if this is ferrous or non-ferrous. Or if it's even, you know, if it's metal at all. That one, yeah, that one grabbed. You can see it on there, so that's, yeah, it's looks like it's fell off, so it's not, maybe it's not ferrous. But yeah, that looks pretty bad. Maybe that's excess glue. I'm going to show you up close. I don't know what that is. I'm going to touch it with my finger because I didn't touch this at all. See if it's hard. I didn't want to disturb it. Yeah, you can hear it. It's kind of hard. It is falling apart though. It's like glue that's been really baked or something, you know? That's what it seems like. I don't know what that is. Your guess is as good as mine. But the anti-drain back valve looks nice in there. Fits on there nicely. Look at this stuff. Alright, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but this thing is right sticking on there really good. Okay, there it goes. So this is nitro rubber, but it looks like you do a nice job on there. There it goes. Snaps right in there. Okay. Now look at the Chinese made filter. And this one's loose, you can see. Silicone. But it covers up the inlet hole, so it's fine. Nice and clean also. And the threads, they're equal on the threads. 4 grooves there for threads. Yeah, look at that. Alright, so I don't disturb it too much, but the inlet holes, they're a little bit larger on the, yeah, it doesn't matter if it comes out now. They're a little bit larger on the made in Australia filter versus the made in China filter. So they probably equal out, but I think this would probably be more. We have more with the more inlet holes, you have a better flow. At least that's my opinion. All right, let's look at the rest of the filter here. And here's the gaskets. I'll put the thickness of these gaskets up on the screen. China on the right, Australian on the left. Don't want to focus too good, but okay. The Chinese one is a little thicker. And let's take a look at this made in Australia filter. Like I said, no bypass valve, metal end caps. Even a piece right there that was stuck in there. All right, you got a glued seam right there. And this filter has 60 pleats, but I don't know the micron rating or what this filter is made out of, being that it's made in 1996. But the pleats are pretty deep. There should be a lot of filter media there. And let's look at the Chinese made filter. Also metal end caps. No bypass valve. Nice and clean. And it's got a metal crimp seam right here. And this Chinese made filter has 76 pleats, so it has 16 more pleats. They don't look quite as deep though. So the filter media might be pretty much the same. And this is I don't know what this filter media is. I checked up on their website. It doesn't say. It's probably a blender or cellulose. But the micron rating on it is 98.7% at 32 microns, which is weird numbers. You could probably round that off to 99, 30 microns. Okay, so that looks good. And they both have coil springs. And you can see some of the stuff still on this coil spring. See that? Focus there. See it on there? It's having a hard time focusing. There it goes. You can see some crud on there. Okay. Chinese made filter. Yeah, they feel about the same, but their Chinese one is a little narrower and taller. Okay, and the cans. Okay, the cans, I'll put the measurements of these cans up on the screen. You can pause that if you want to look at it. You can see the overspray in this Chinese made filter. That's usually the case. And it's a little bit thicker can. So the made in Australia is 2.5, let's call that 2.52 inches wide, minus a tenth of an inch. Chinese made filter is trouble focusing today, 2.32 inches wide, minus a tenth of an inch. Okay, so let's cut these two filters open, stretch them out, see what they look like under a microscope. Be right back. Okay, so here's the filter media all stretched out. And the made in Australia filter is 75 inches long. The made in China filter is 72 inches long. Okay, let's get the thickness of this filter media. It's a made in Australia filter, 0.70 millimeters thick. Made in China filter is 0.75 millimeters thick. A little bit thicker. Okay, so here's the filtering side, back side. And you can tell these pleats are bigger on the made in Australia filter compared to this made in China filter. And I'll show you why in a minute. But if you take a look at these guys under a microscope, the made in China filter looks like it'd do a little better job of filtering. Looks like there's more light spots on the Australian made filter. So let's take a look at that picture. Okay, so I'd say you probably get a little better job of filtering with the made in China filter, but you get about 21 more square inches of filter media with the made in Australia filter. And let's take a look at the rest of the filter. So the reason the bigger pleats with the made in Australia filter is because the center cores are different sizes. The center core on this China made filter is a lot bigger. See, it fits right over it. So with a bigger core, you get smaller pleats. You get a smaller area. Then you got a bigger area on this one, but I mean, you get a smaller area over here. So you get smaller pleats with a bigger core. And this we already went over, the gaskets. You know, this is too bad it's made like this. I'm sure this is just one that I caught like this. You know, that's the one Tassie sent me. But, you know, you got to wonder how many filters are made this way. Not just with the RYCO, but, you know, any brand. I hate to see a filter when it's made like this. This is just, to me, it's unacceptable. And the rest of the filter, you know, you got the coil sprays, that's tie, holes in the center cores. The can's a little bit thicker on the China-made filter. You got a silicone gasket versus nitro rubber. So between these two filters, I got to go with the China-made filter. What do you guys think? And again, I want to thank Tassie for sending me these two RYCO oil filters all the way from Australia. And with that being said, I think I'll wrap this video up. And don't forget, Oil Filter Fridays. I try to open up an oil filter every Friday on this YouTube channel. So if you like this video, please hit that like button, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and take care. The Australian-made RYCO filter media weighs 14 grams. The Chinese RYCO filter media weighs 18.2 grams.